The ship sank 2 miles from shore. One moment it was sailing perfectly. Strong wind, clear sky, calm waters. The next moment, water was pouring in, through the hull, through cracks nobody saw during inspection. 25 Vikings were on board, warriors heading to raid, families traveling to new settlements, children. All drowning because my ship, the ship I built, was falling apart. If you believe Sabotage hides in plain sight, hit subscribe. This story shows how jealousy sinks more than ships. My name is Leif. I'm a Viking shipbuilder. For 15 years, I've built longships, fast vessels, strong hulls, ships that crossed oceans without leaking, ships that survived storms, ships that brought warriors home safely. Until yesterday. Until the Sea Wolf sank and killed 25 people. I'd spent 4 months building it, my best work, double reinforced hull, triple sealed joints, tested every plank. The Jarl commissioned it personally, wanted the fastest ship in 3 settlements. I delivered, built something beautiful and functional. The launch was perfect. The ship sailed smoothly for 3 days. Then it sank. Witnesses said water came in fast, too fast for natural leaking. The hull split open, planks separated. People tried bailing water but couldn't keep up. The ship went down in minutes. Some drowned immediately. Some made it to shore exhausted. Some died from cold water. 25 total deaths. The guards arrested me at dawn. Leif, you're charged with negligent construction, with building a faulty ship, with killing 25 people through incompetence. The ship was perfect. I tested everything. Those planks were solid. The hull was reinforced. It shouldn't have failed. But it did fail. It sank. 25 people are dead. You built it. You're responsible. That's how accountability works. They threw me in the cell. Families gathered outside screaming, demanding my head, demanding justice for their drowned loved ones. I understood their rage. If my ship killed their families, they deserved answers. But I knew something was wrong. Ships don't just split open after 3 days, don't just develop massive leaks in calm water. Something happened. Something deliberate. Someone sabotaged my ship. Comment below if you've ever been blamed for sabotage you didn't cause. Then I remembered. Orm, my rival shipbuilder. The man who'd bid against me for this contract, who'd lost to my design, who'd been bitter for 4 months, who'd sworn he'd prove I was overrated, who had access to the shipyard, who had knowledge to sabotage effectively. I need to examine the wreckage, I told the guards. Need to see how it failed. If it's sabotage, there'll be evidence. You're not leaving this cell. You're staying until trial. If you're innocent, prove it in court. My wife Inga visited that night. They're calling for execution, saying you rushed construction, cut corners, cared more about speed than safety. It was sabotage. Someone damaged the hull. I need you to check the wreckage. Look for tool marks, for deliberate damage, for evidence this wasn't my fault. The wreckage is underwater. Divers brought up some pieces, but most is gone. Check what they recovered. Look for cut marks, for saw damage, for anything showing someone weakened the hull deliberately. She agreed to investigate, to find evidence that would save my life and expose the real killer. Inga searched the recovered wreckage for 2 days. Pieces of hull, broken planks, fragments of what had been my masterpiece. She examined everything carefully, looking for the evidence I needed. The 3rd day, she found it, brought pieces to my cell with wide eyes. You were right. The hull was cut, deliberately. Someone sawed partway through multiple planks, left just enough to pass inspection, but not enough to hold under sailing stress. Show me. Describe exactly. 3 planks, all near the waterline, all with identical saw marks, clean cuts, precise depth. Someone calculated exactly how much to weaken without making it visible. This was professional, planned. Someone with shipbuilding knowledge did this. That's murder. Premeditated mass murder. Whoever did this knew the ship would sink, knew people would die. Did it anyway to frame me. There's more. I found wood shavings near your workspace. Fresh shavings. From the same type of wood as the damaged planks. Someone worked there recently. Used your tools. Made it look like you did the cutting. Would you frame a rival by killing innocent people? Comment what jealousy makes people capable of. We need to prove Orm did this. Need evidence linking him to the sabotage. Need something showing he had access and motive. Inga interviewed shipyard workers. Asked who'd been near the Seawolf during construction. Most remembered only me. But one young apprentice remembered something odd. About a week before launch, I saw someone at the ship, late at night. I assumed it was you, Leif. Same build, same way of moving. He was working on the hull, using tools. I didn't question it. What did his face look like? Too dark, but he moved like an experienced builder. Knew exactly what he was doing. Worked fast, efficient. I thought you were doing final inspections. That wasn't me. I was home. That was someone who wanted to look like me. Someone my height, my build. Orm matches that description. Still not enough. Just testimony from one apprentice who couldn't identify the person. The defense would destroy that easily. We needed physical proof. Something connecting Orm directly to the sabotage. Inga searched Orm's workshop, looking for evidence. Found something interesting. A saw. Fresh wood residue on the blade. The same type of wood as the Seawolf's hull. The same wood I'd used for construction. This saw cut that wood recently, she said. The residue matches. The cut pattern matches. This is the tool that sabotaged your ship. But Orm could claim he was working on his own projects. Could say the wood match is coincidence. We need more. Then Inga found the real evidence. Hidden under Orm's workbench. Wrapped in cloth. 3 wood samples. Cut from planks. With saw marks matching the wreckage exactly. Practice pieces. Orm had practiced the sabotage. Made sure he knew exactly how deep to cut. How much to weaken without making it obvious. These are from the Seawolf, Inga said.
These are pieces Orm cut while planning the sabotage, while calculating how to make the ship fail. This is proof. Now we had motive, opportunity, physical evidence, and practice pieces, enough to demand investigation, enough to expose Orm, enough to prove the ship didn't fail from my incompetence, but from his jealousy. My trial was tomorrow. Tomorrow would decide if I hanged for murders I didn't commit, or if Orm faced justice for murders he absolutely committed. The trial assembled at dawn. 300 Vikings gathered. Families of the drowned demanded justice. The Jarl sat on the platform. Orm stood nearby as expert witness, ready to confirm my incompetence, ready to seal my fate while hiding his guilt. Leif stands accused of negligent shipbuilding, the law speaker announced. 25 died when his ship sank. We judge whether this was accident or crime.
This was clear negligence, Orm said. His voice was confident, professional. I reviewed Leif's design months ago, warned him the hull was too thin, too weak. He ignored me, rushed construction. This tragedy was predictable.
The crowd murmured agreement. Orm was respected, known as careful, conservative. His warning made me look worse, made my guilt seem obvious. I have evidence, I said. Evidence proving sabotage. proving this wasn't accident, but deliberate murder, and evidence proving who really killed 25 innocent people.
Sabotage?
The Jarl leaned forward. Explain. The hull didn't fail naturally. It was cut, deliberately. Someone sawed partway through 3 planks, left just enough to pass inspection, but not enough to hold under sail. Someone with shipbuilding knowledge knew exactly where to cut.
"That's absurd," Orm shouted. "You're making desperate accusations, trying to blame saboteurs instead of accepting responsibility."
My wife examined the wreckage, I continued. Found the damaged planks, saw marks, deliberate cuts. This wasn't my failure. This was someone else's crime. Inga stepped forward, showed the planks. The assembly pressed forward, examining, seeing the cut marks clearly, seeing evidence of deliberate damage. Would you murder 25 people to destroy a rival's reputation? Tell me in comments. Who benefits from this? The Jarl asked. Who gains from 25 deaths and your destruction? My rival, the man who lost this contract to me, the man who's been bitter for 4 months, the man who warned everyone my design was unsafe, who predicted failure, Orm. Orm's face went red.
"How dare you? I'm here helping establish truth, and you accuse me of mass murder. This is slander."
Then explain this. Inga held up the saw.
"We found this in your workshop, with wood residue matching the Sea Wolf's hull, with cut patterns matching the Sabotage. This saw made those cuts."
The crowd pressed forward, staring. The evidence was real, physical. That saw had cut those planks, had weakened that hull, had killed 25 people.
"That proves nothing. I work with wood constantly. Any saw in my workshop might have residue. That's not proof."
Then explain these. Inga showed the practice pieces.
"We found these hidden under your workbench, wood samples, cut from planks, with saw marks matching the wreckage exactly. You practiced the sabotage, made sure you knew exactly how deep to cut. These are your practice pieces."
Orm had no answer. His face went white, sweating. The evidence was overwhelming. Practice pieces showing deliberate planning, showing calculated murder, showing exactly how he'd sabotaged my ship. "I demand Orm's workshop be searched completely," I said. "All his tools examined, all his wood samples tested. If there's more evidence, it needs to be found." Guards searched, brought back everything, found more practice pieces, found sketches of the Sea Wolf with marks showing exactly where to cut, found notes calculating how much damage was needed, complete planning documents, proof of premeditated sabotage. "This is your handwriting," the Jarl said, holding up the notes. "Your sketches, your calculations. You planned this murder carefully, deliberately, killed 25 people just to hurt your rival." Orm's defense crumbled. The evidence was too much, too detailed, too damning. Everything pointed to him. Everything proved he'd sabotaged my ship and murdered 25 innocent people because he couldn't accept losing a contract. The assembly had their answer. Not my incompetence, not my rushed work, not my negligence. Orm's jealousy, Orm's sabotage, Orm's calculated mass murder disguised as shipbuilding failure. The evidence was undeniable. Practice pieces, calculations, sketches showing exactly where to cut. Orm's handwriting everywhere, his tools used for sabotage, his planning documented completely. He'd left too much evidence, been too confident he'd never be caught. "Why?" the Jarl demanded. "Why murder 25 innocent people? Why not just build a better ship? Why not compete fairly?"
Because I couldn't beat him fairly, Orm said. His voice was hollow, empty. Leif is the better builder. Everyone knows it. I bid against him for 3 years, lost every time. Lost contracts, lost respect, lost reputation. I couldn't stand it anymore. So you killed people, drowned families, murdered children, because you lost contracts? I killed his reputation. The people were necessary casualties. The ship had to fail catastrophically, had to kill people, had to be a disaster so massive everyone would blame Leif forever. That required deaths. You're saying you murdered 25 people as necessary casualties for professional revenge? Yes. If the ship just leaked slowly, nobody would care. Nobody would blame Leif completely. It had to sink fast, had to drown people, had to be horrific. That's what destroys reputations. That's what makes people remember failure forever. The families were screaming, trying to reach Orm, to tear him apart. Guards held them back. The rage was overwhelming. 25 people had died not from accident, but from calculated murder disguised as shipbuilding failure. Would you show mercy to someone who drowned your family for professional jealousy? Comment honestly. You showed no hesitation? A widow asked, her voice shaking. No doubt. You cut those planks knowing children would drown, knowing families would be destroyed? I felt satisfaction. Felt like I was correcting an injustice. Leif didn't deserve those contracts, didn't deserve recognition. I'm equally skilled. I should have won. Fixing that wrong required sacrifice. Others paid the price. That's how competition works. That's how murder works, the Jarl corrected. That's how evil operates. You're not a shipbuilder anymore. You're a mass murderer. This assembly will judge you as such. The trial was brief. Evidence was overwhelming. Confession was recorded. Motive was clear. Method was proven. Everything aligned. Orm had deliberately murdered 25 people through ship sabotage. The assembly voted. Unanimous. Guilty on all counts. 25 counts of premeditated murder. Sabotage. Attempted murder of me through false accusation. The sentence was equally unanimous. Death by drowning. The same death his victims suffered. I don't care, Orm said when they announced the verdict. I destroyed Leif's reputation anyway. Everyone will always wonder if his ships are safe. Wonder if the next one will sink. I won even dying. You proved nothing except that jealousy kills, I said. My ship was sound, only failed because you sabotaged it. Everyone
knows that now. My reputation is restored. Your reputation is destroyed. You're remembered as a murderous coward who killed children because you couldn't win fairly. They took Orm to the sea, weighted him with stones, threw him into deep water. He struggled, panicked, drowned within minutes. 25 families watched. Some cried, some cheered, some just stared, processing, trying to find closure in revenge. It didn't bring their loved ones back. It never does. But it was justice, legal, sanctioned, necessary. The murderer suffered the same death he'd inflicted on others. The system worked. As they pulled Orm's body from the water and buried it in unmarked ground, the Jarl turned to me. Leif, you're cleared completely, vindicated. The settlement owes you apology and compensation. I just want to rebuild, want to restore trust in my ships, want to prove my work is safe when not sabotaged by jealous rivals. Then rebuild. I'm commissioning a new ship, same design, But this time with guards, with oversight, with protection. Show everyone your shipbuilding is sound, that the sinking was criminal, not technical. I agreed, started planning immediately, not just for shipbuilding, but for security, for protocols preventing another Orm, another jealous rival who valued winning over lives.
Rebuilding took 6 months. Every plank was inspected 3 times. Every joint was verified. Guards watched construction constantly, preventing sabotage, preventing anyone with jealousy from approaching. The families of the 25 dead were involved, approved every decision, watched every test. "Will it float?" a widow asked. Her husband had drowned on the Seawolf. She had 4 children to raise alone. "Will this ship stay afloat, or will it sink again?" "It will float, I guarantee it. Not with words, with testing, with demonstrations. Watch." I loaded the ship with stones, 3,000 pounds, triple normal cargo weight. Let it sit for 5 days. No leaking, no stress, no problems. Then I sailed it myself, through rough water, through storms, proving it could handle abuse, proving safety through demonstration, not promises. "I trust you," she said finally, "not because you're convincing, but because you suffered too. You were almost executed for Orm's crime. You lost reputation, lost time, lost peace. You understand loss. That makes you careful." The new ship launched on the anniversary of the sinking. Intentional timing, symbolic. A year after tragedy, we had healing. A year after sabotage, we had security. 25 names were carved into the mast, permanent, visible, remembering those who died, honoring their memory. Comment below if you believe tragedy should inspire change or be quietly forgotten. Tell me how you'd memorialize victims. The Jarl sailed first, just like the original launch. But this time, he brought the families, the widows, the orphans, the parents who'd lost children. They sailed together, slowly, carefully, crying but moving forward, literally and metaphorically. "This ship stands because Leif refused to accept false guilt," the Jarl announced, "because he investigated, because his wife searched wreckage, because evidence mattered more than convenience. That's Viking justice. That's shipbuilding with honor." My reputation was fully restored. Better than before, actually. People trusted me more after surviving false accusation, after proving innocence, after exposing a murderer. I became known not just as skilled builder, but as honest man. Other settlements commissioned ships, wanted Leif's work, wanted vessels built by the builder who'd exposed sabotage, who'd survived conspiracy, who'd proven that skill plus integrity creates safety. My career didn't just survive, it thrived. But success felt hollow sometimes. 25 people were still dead, still murdered, still victims of professional jealousy. My vindication didn't resurrect them. My ships didn't return families to wholeness. Justice happened. Evil was punished. But the cost remained. I visited their memorial regularly, all 25 names on the mast, spoke to them, apologized even though logically I knew Orm's crimes weren't my fault. I should have protected my work better, should have anticipated sabotage. I'm sorry. I'll build safely. Forever. That's my promise. The families eventually forgave me, understood separation between builder and saboteur, between creation and destruction. They knew intellectually that Orm killed their loved ones, not me, but emotions don't follow logic. Grief doesn't care about facts. They needed time. Eventually, they healed. Years passed, 5 years, then 10. My ships still sailed, dozens of vessels, thousands of safe voyages, no failures, no sinkings, no deaths, just reliable transportation, boring shipbuilding, successful vessels. That's the goal. That's victory. If you believe the best engineering is invisible reliability, hit subscribe now. Tell me in comments, would you trust a builder who was falsely accused? Or does accusation always leave doubt? In the world of Vikings, professional jealousy sinks more than ships, sabotage targets trust itself, and every tale of maritime disaster ends with truth and reconstruction. Orm wanted to destroy me, wanted my reputation ruined, my career ended, my legacy as failure. He murdered 25 people to achieve that goal, and he failed. Because truth emerged, because evidence mattered, because Viking justice valued proof over assumption. I'm still building, still designing, still testing obsessively, still remembering the 25, still honoring their memory through safer ships, through better protocols, through vessels that last generations without killing anyone. That's my revenge, not Orm's death, not his drowning, not his unmarked grave. My revenge is success, is safety, is proving good shipbuilding outlasts murderous jealousy, that creation defeats destruction. Orm's name is forgotten, mentioned only as warning, as example of evil. Nobody commissions his designs, nobody honors his memory, nobody speaks his name except as cautionary tale. My name is on 40 ships, all sailing, all safe, all serving communities. That's legacy. That's what matters. Not winning contracts, not beating rivals, but building things that help people, that connect settlements, that last beyond my lifetime. Skål, builders, skål, craftsmen, skål, everyone who creates rather than destroys. Until the next saga.